Joining us from Washington is Kevin Sheridan, former communications director for Paul Ryan during his vice presidential campaign and founder of Sheridan Media Group. All right, Kevin, let's get right to it. Trump has been facing some scrutiny for shifting his tone, shifting his position, some are saying, on immigration, which really has become his signature campaign issue. What do you expect Donald Trump to say on Wednesday?
Well, can you believe we're actually talking about an issue finally and not,
let the record show that on
which of these candidates is less awful than the other one. Yeah, look, hey, he's talking about the signature issue that got him here. Obviously, his position in the primaries was the most pure position, and he was going to deport 12 million people and build a wall and do a number of other things. He's realized, I think, along with Kellyanne Conway, now that she's on board, that position is not necessarily tenable in a general election, and he's going to have to go further and explain exactly what that would, how he would do that, and whether or not it's realistic to tell the American people you're going to deport 12 million of them, or 12 million immigrants here. So what he's got to do is find some middle ground, and I agree with what Rush Limbaugh said last week, and that maybe it's Trump and only Trump that could actually, because of his standing with the base, maybe he's the only Republican that could actually bring around some of these people to convince them that that's not necessarily going to be a winning strategy.
And Kevin, he is discussing immigration now. He was criticized last week for both saying he was softening his position to one audience, saying he's hardening his position to others. Yet now that we see him out with his first campaign ad, this $10 million buy, far behind what Hillary Clinton is spending, the ad is actually focusing on the economy. We just want to show a clip of that to people watching first before I get your response.
In Hillary Clinton's America, the middle class gets crushed. Spending goes up. Taxes go up. Hundreds of thousands of jobs disappear. It's more of the same, but worse. In Donald Trump's America, working families get tax relief. Millions of new jobs created. Wages go up. Small businesses thrive. The American dream achievable. Change that makes America great again. Donald Trump for president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
So what do you make of that, Kevin? Focusing on the economy with this expensive ad, but yet pushing a pivot on immigration possibly this week. Is it a miscalculation to do both at the same time?
Well, normally, look, Donald Trump threw the rule book, the playbook out a long time ago, so he kind of runs his own. He's running his own kind of campaign that we haven't seen before. Normally, you'd set up all your surrogates to be talking about one issue. If it was immigration this week, we would, flood the zone with all of his surrogates, and he would talk about it, and he would give a speech, and you'd focus your ad buy on that. But that said, look, he's doing his own thing. This change issue, though, and the economy, that is the big central issue of this campaign, and it's more of the same. It's Hillary Clinton. She's stale. Do we really want to return to the Clintons, or do we want something new and different? And the country has said over and over again, both in the rise of Bernie Sanders and with Trump, that we do want a new direction. And so he does have, an opportunity here to make that case, and I think that's what that ad is doing, and it looks pretty effective, actually.
So then why, Kevin, give a speech on immigration this week?
Well, because he needs to solve this issue, and he needs to provide some clarity on it. And he's finally got himself into this position where, let's see where these ads actually start running. I saw something that said they purchased the ads, but they haven't been running yet. But the immigration issue, he needs some clarity on that policy, and he had to put it off until this Wednesday. So this is just a matter of time before he had to address it, and that's what he's doing this week.
There's another aspect of his campaigning which shows he's trying to win over other issues, his appeal to minority groups. Some have noted that even in his series of tweets today and over the weekend, he is speaking about African Americans rather than speaking to them. He even invoked the murder of Dwayne Wade's cousin in Chicago as evidence, proof perhaps, that African American voters will support him. Do you see anything wrong with that type of campaign message?
Well, let's take it in two different parts. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard in the wake of somebody murdered to show a little empathy and some respect for the victim and not make it all about yourself and all about politics and about the campaign. That said, We've seen Donald Trump do this before. He did it in the wake of the terrorist attack in Brussels. He did it in the wake of Orlando, where he tweets something out the next day and then has to, later say, oh, by the way, my sympathies to the victim. What he's doing, though, in reaching out to the minority community that message that he's done in the last week or so, is really more about reassuring, I think, white voters, traditional Republican, suburban voters who generally they're swing voters. They're outside of Philadelphia. They're outside of, they're in parts of Florida and outside of Columbus, Ohio. And those are the people that normally vote Republican in every presidential election that we win. We rely on those voters. What he's trying to do is reassure them with his message that he will reach out, he will be inclusive, he will, have a dialogue with the African American community, and that's what he's been trying to get across.
All right, Kevin Sheridan in Washington. Kevin, thank you.
Thanks.